Hello. Today's lesson is going to involve a lot of vocabulary that you need to know in order to have an intelligent conversation and discuss the different angles that we're trying to learn about in class. For your notes, set them up in C-note fashion. And because it's vocabulary, we're going to pull out a lot of words over here and define them over on the other side. Now, we're going to leave some space up at the top for vocabulary words. But down here, near the bottom of your notes area, you're going to draw some parallel lines. You can do that by go ahead and tracing some of the parallel lines that are blue already on your paper, but I like to take a ruler, put the ruler on the paper, and then trace both sides of the ruler to get my parallel lines. So that's the first vocab word. We're going to put it up here, parallel lines. I know that you've had parallel lines before and that you've talked about them, but we just need to remind ourselves about parallel lines. So over here you would write lines on a plane that never intersect. The next line we're going to draw is known as a transversal. So you can draw your transversal any way that you want as long as it intersects both of the parallel lines for today's lesson. So transversal. So this might be a new word, so we're going to write this one together. A transversal is a line that intersects two or more lines. So you can see that this transversal intersects these two lines that parallel, and that's important for today. You're going to have to remember what an acute angle is. And as a reminder, an acute angle measures less than 90 degrees. You need to know an obtuse angle. Once again, this measures greater than 90 degrees. And of course, the right angle, which measures exactly 90 degrees. Now let's get into the angles that are made when two parallel lines are crossed by a transversal. Sometimes we use the word cut by a transversal. So in order to make it easier to talk about, we're going to label each of the angles, not the points, the vertex where the lines come together. We're labeling the angles. So I'm going to use lowercase letters, and I'm just going to use the letters in the alphabet. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Now remember, I'm talking about the angles. So as you can see, angle A is an acute angle. Angle B is an obtuse angle. So let's first start talking about exterior versus interior angles. So I think the easiest is to see the interior angles. So we're going to go ahead and do those first. And for my interior angles, I'm going to use a highlighter to highlight the interior angles. So interior angles are inside the parallel lines. Yellow isn't really showing up, so let me make it a little bit darker. The next we're going to talk about are the exterior angles. And you could probably guess where the exterior angles are. But we're going to highlight those in orange. So exterior angles are out here, outside of the parallel lines. Just like exterior paint is for the outside of your house, exterior angles are outside of the parallel lines. Now we get to the more fun ones. Let's talk about corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are on the same side of the transversal and same side of parallel lines, but the two different parallel lines. Let me show you. So if we're looking at angle A, notice how angle A is on the left side of the transversal and above this first parallel line. its corresponding angle is also going to be on the left side and also above the parallel line, but the other parallel line. So it's going to be here. So the corresponding angle for A is E. So A and E, this little and symbol, A and E are corresponding angles. There are other corresponding angles. So you can see that B and F are corresponding angles. You can see that D and H are corresponding angles. C and G are corresponding angles. So these are all corresponding angles, and go ahead and write them over here. B and F are corresponding angles. C and G, and then D and H are all corresponding angles. Now I'm going to use another color, and I'm going to go ahead and do D and H. I'm going to use this purple to show that D and H are also corresponding angles. If I had more highlighter colors, I might go ahead and highlight it all, but I'm limited in my highlighter colors. The last one that you need to know and have memorized is vertical angles. Vertical angles are right across from each other. So when we look at A and C are vertical angles. So here A and C are vertical angles. I'm going to highlight those in green. Other vertical angles include B and D, F and H, and E and G. And I might go ahead and highlight another set of vertical angles, F and H. So I know this is a lot of vocab to have memorized by tomorrow, but go ahead and make sure that you have this information at least accessible for tomorrow's lesson. Thank you.